if you can't manage yourself, you can't manage others. But really, I said, the quote was, if you can't lead yourself, you cannot lead others.
I keep having to say to myself this simple phrase, and it is that 80% done by others is 100% better than done by yourself. And I'm not kidding. I have to wake up every day and remind myself, I must grow through other people. This is not just the Jamie Shanks show. It was like those kind of companies. It's like Jamie Shanks and Associates.
You have to remember you have that staff there that you can be lifting up, supporting, serving, doing the things that make them want to help you to get that done and accomplished faster.
Clay, welcome to Outsource to Profits. I have a fantastic guest. Looking forward to you telling the audience about yourself. Clay, do you mind telling everybody who you are, what you do, and how you serve the world?
Yeah. So my name's Clay Hicks. I'm an entrepreneur out of Dayton, Ohio. I do been an entrepreneur for 23 years now. No college education. Started my first business at 23. I have learned as a founder and a leader that I really began to realize some years ago when I had started bringing on staff that I needed to grow myself. And so we're going to talk a little bit about self-leadership today and how instead of blaming your staff for their problems or for the problems with your business, working on it yourself and growing through it yourself to support your staff better.
And I don't want to steal your thunder from the quote you gave because I'm going to let you use your own quote. But I'm going to summarize this I'm going to kind of pose the episode through a story. I'm now here. We're recording this in July of 2025. Yeah. My company is now 75 employees, soon to be 100. Every day, I'm reinventing what is now the largest business I've ever managed. My other agencies hovered in that 20 to 30 people range. Yeah. And now I'm forced to discover a new Jamie, so to speak, because I now see where I saw founder friends of mine. You know, I saw that they hit these different inflection points. They got stressed out or all these things that I found unrelatable because like I had never experienced that level of hyper growth, that level of staff under management and so forth. And I keep having to say to myself this simple phrase, and it's from a friend of mine, Dan Martell, and it is that 80% done by others is 100% better than done by yourself. And I'm not kidding. I have to wake up every day and remind myself, I must grow through other people. This is not just the Jamie Shanks show. Because in every other agency I've owned for like 15 years, it was Jamie Shanks with and others. It was like those kind of companies. It's like Jamie Shanks and Associates. Well, it's like now this company, which is intended to be somewhere between 250 and 500 employees, you know, as we get to scale, the only way to get there is to grow through others. So, Clay, do you mind taking a moment, describe the big quote, the big insight that you have, but then define why do founders get caught not executing against that quote?
Yeah, awesome. So my quote was, if you can't manage yourself, you can't manage others. But really, I said, the quote was, if you can't lead yourself, you cannot lead others. And that's, you know, to unpack that, I have gone through an insane amount of growth myself. I don't even recognize myself for 5 years, you know, over the last 5 years. I mean, you know, when we went into the pandemic, I had 4 on my staff. That tell you anything? You know, it tells you what we've been able to do together. Not what I've done.
Describe how big you are now, so that'll give context.
That's right. So I think your question was, why do I think founders may not realize they need to do that? Is that kind of what you're wanting to know?
Yeah, I mean, and just for context for the audience, team, under Clay's management are 300 volunteers. I think there was like 20 or 30 staff or something like this. So you've gone from a team of 4 to hundreds of people under management, and COVID being the years 2020 and 2021. So we're only in 5 years have accelerated this. So now that you understand that if basically you first have to change, then you can change others.
Yeah.
Can you describe the inhibitors? Like, what holds back founders from changing themselves? Why can't they self-reflect?
Well, at that point, I mean, you're talking about pride. You're talking about, look at what I've done. There's this thing that I've done to help myself to do that. I don't manage anybody. I serve them. And so anytime anybody asks me, what's going on underneath the hood here, I don't have 300 volunteers that work for me, 23 on my staff that work for me. No, 23 on my staff that I serve, and then the 300 that I serve, okay, through them, right? And so I think a lot of times people get, as other founders, I understand, like, you're trying to grow, you're a visionary, you're these things, and you're trying to push the envelope, and you're doing all these things, except as you're saying, you're doing, and as I'm repeating, I'm working on all these things. You have to remember you have that staff there that you can be lifting up, supporting, serving, doing the things that make them want to help you to get that done and accomplished faster. And I learned this a long time ago. I won't ask anybody to do anything I haven't already been able to do. Now that's expanded now because of technology. I can't do all the technology, but I don't ask anybody to post something on social media that I don't know how to already do myself. And I know as businesses scale, we can't do everything. But at the end of the day, I invented a methodology called Connect, Serve, and Ask. And so while most founders, it's not just pride. They may just simply not have people around them in their circle that could advise them. We founders and entrepreneurs, we put a lot on our back to go and run and do the thing. And sometimes we forget about ourselves and our own health. And so I think some of those inhibitors are just that we're going so fast, or we've cast this vision we're trying to create, but then we're moving so fast we leave people behind. I've done that myself. I'm very familiar with that concept. That's an inhibitor. We're just moving so fast that we forget that we have this person that can do this, or this person can do that, things like that. And so
this is amazing. So I can relate to a few of these things. First is by changing yourself, you then become a role model and a reflection for others. So I've always been a very fit person, both from an exercise and a dietary standpoint. And I've tried to pose that. My team is young. My team's 25 to 35-year-olds running a sales and marketing agency. I tried to aim to replace the snacks in the office from the garbage to fruits and vegetables. I've encouraged through sport and activity that I'm very active, try to transpose that on the team. But it's interesting. The question that I'd love to ask is, COVID happens, and now all of a sudden you have this opportunity. Did you intentionally redesign Clay? Did you have to sit down and think through, oh my God, I have to become a servant rather than, the other forms of leaders? Or did it happen because you organically just let go? And I ask this question because as I reflect, part of me was very intentional in tackling this business differently than my other businesses, knowing I needed to grow through other people. But I don't feel I every day spent time repolishing Jamie. I just started letting go more. And the more I let go, the better it became. Yeah.
Well, for me, I had to intentionally do it. Okay. So that was when I began doing those challenges. What are they called? Those obstacle courses.
Oh, you did Tough Mudder and stuff like that.
Yeah. I've done a couple of those. Everything I was doing was intentional around my meditation, my prayer, my faith time, all of that stuff became extremely intentional around my own revisions of myself, my own learning, understanding what's going on, adaptation. What caused me to leap into that was when everything was shut down. So my wife tells a story about how a couple weeks go by, my wife is still trying to find the coffee, and I'm over here changing the world, trying to hold it up on my shoulders. And so trying to support our members. So I had to leap into action. When I did that, I had to move my life down into one day at a time. And when I moved into one day at a time, I needed to get disciplined around that. And I needed to be able to function one day at a time, regardless of what would happen the next day. And that was a really dark time, of course. And so that intentionality, I didn't let up control. I just began controlling myself more. And now I crazy doing ice baths at 6:30 at night every single day. It's meditation at 4:15. It's all of these things that
so you broke your day down into controllable tasks.
That's right.
And this is it, because I teach this to sellers, and I naturally fit into the mold of somebody that I found that easier than maybe others to be very routine, to the point where my wife's like, my good Lord, you're so routine. But I'm a big believer of exactly like I teach sellers. There's only two things you can control: the decisions you make and the actions you take every day. And very similarly, I have a very pre-programmed day when I'm not traveling. And if you think about where you end up, it's just compounding 365 of those routines every day, and you get 1% better. And you wake up. So you had to summarize, you had to sit down and reprogram your day. Can you walk, just out of curiosity, walk through your day?
Yeah, I'll tell you. So, okay, this is real, what I'm about to say, okay? I get up between 3:30 and 4, 7 days a week.
Okay? Jeez, that's early on a Sunday.
And on Saturday too, yeah. So I get up no matter what at that time. Soon as I wake, I go down, I make my coffee, I come back up. By 4:15, I'm sitting in my bed and I'm journaling about what I was grateful for the day before. All the details.
And your spouse is wondering what the light is on the corner of her eye?
No, it's worse than that. I leave all the lights off, the TV's on, but I take my camera out on my phone and I have it in my lap, and I cannot see what was the day before ever. I still do not go back and read it today. I don't know. So I finish that up. It takes me about 10 minutes because your brain's not really high functioning at that moment, right? I haven't even had a sip of coffee. I'm just like, make it work. And so then I'm exercising for my calisthenics, my meditation at 5 a.m. sharp. 6 a.m. I'm at my desk working on my business, prepping for the day and the week. My first appointments start rolling in around 7. I quit at 4:30 every day. No matter what's going on, I stop. At 6:30, I've eaten dinner. I am now in my ice pod for 10 minutes, sometimes less if it's super cold.
Do you go head? You don't go head under? It's kind of to neck?
No, I do up to my neck in the ice bath, and then I also intertwine ice showers.
Yeah, so you do, yeah.
Yeah, so I can do both and intermingle it. And then I am resting. There is no phone time. There is no text time. There is no nothing come 7:30. And it is dead the rest of the night until the next day.
So I quit drinking a year and a half ago. And, as you stop drinking, for the first little bit, you go through everything from withdrawals to social anxiety because you feel very out of place in social settings.
Yeah.
But then you'll wake up in month 3 and month 6, and you can't figure out why your life's in a better position.
Yeah.
And you can't figure out if it's correlation or causation. And so the question is, how long into your new pre-programmed life did you kind of go, oh my God, like I didn't see the change because it happened so slowly, but my God, when I look back at old me, I am far better.
That would have been Saturday morning this past November, Black Friday, Thanksgiving weekend.
Yeah.
And my life was definitely different. I definitely understood different. I can read differently. I interpret information differently. I'm seeing all these things. I am not a COO by nature, but I had to take over operations of my company as a CEO. And I needed to revise the operations and how it all works. That was a 6-month tour. I'm just now really feeling all of those effects. But just that moment of time in my life is when I really knew I was not the same person I was 5 years ago, and for daggone sure, the same person that started this community 17 years ago.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So yeah, and I for any of those listening, when they do these transformations, like anything, it will seem very slow. It is truly a tiny snowball rolling down a hill. But then as you get kind of halfway down the hill, you do look up and you're just like amazed at the change. That concept of if you sailed a boat from New York to Ireland and the boat was off by 1 degree, one boat ends up in Greenland, the other in Africa, and neither of them end up in Ireland. Yeah.
That's correct. Yeah. And so that journaling, those daily routines, all of that stuff just compound. And plus I have all these different people around me that coach me, that mentor me. And when I say all these people, I mean all these people. I mean, I have a strategic coach, I have an ops coach, I have a speaking coach, I have a health coach. Like, I am not smart enough for any of that. So I gotta be able to have a red button that I push and say, okay, somebody knows more than me. I need to go find that out. So,
that is amazing.
Yeah.
Clay, how do people get a hold of you if they want to learn more about your business, and maybe just describe your business a little quickly for everybody?
Yeah. So I own. I'm the founder of H7 Network. It's a B2B networking platform. 17 years old. It's a place for professionals and entrepreneurs, predominantly entrepreneurs, that are in the B2B space. And so the B2B program is only 5 years old. And in 5 years, we've expanded to having members in 23 countries. We have groups in 4 countries. We have groups in 22 states in America. In all of that, after the pandemic, we were only in 5 states total. We have scaled. And in 23 countries, we've not found anything that's really like what we do. How you guys can find us is find me on LinkedIn, Clay Hicks. It says Dayton, Ohio in there, and it's got me in a fedora. You're welcome to connect with me there, Clay Hicks. Or you can also visit our website, h7network.com.
That's fantastic. Well, thank you so much for being on Outsource to Profits.
Yeah, love to do one-to-ones with anybody who wants to do them. Happy to meet, happy to serve.
Fantastic. Thank you so much.
My pleasure.
Take care.